Alright, what's going on, guys? Chili Games back with another video, and this is a game that I am really happy to bring to you guys because it was actually one of the best experiences that I've had in the game in a very long time, and it wasn't because of me. If you will notice, I guess you can't really notice him now, but the friendly Yamato on this flank, whose name is absolutely amazing, Mexican Gulager 69. Fantastic. He has one heck of a game, and this flank over here ends up being basically just me and him. And while at first I didn't know what he was doing, it ended up being definitely one of the most satisfying, I guess, team efforts from me and this guy to secure this side and secure the win for the team. And I haven't been happier to bring this as a video for you guys, so I hope you guys enjoy. So, playing the Hipper, I guess while it'll take about 3 or 4 minutes for to really see what's going on here. Kind of looking at the team here, and you see he's right there. He's actually taking a pretty decent approach to this spawn. 3 battleships. Yamato can overmatch him, and Conqueror can do very nasty things to him. And since he is effectively going to be, or he would be, the only person out here that would take the fire, because I'm not. I'm not stepping out there. Notice how I held my shots because I did not want to take that first opening salvo from everybody there until I was at least in a spot to evade some shells, which is what I do to the Conqueror here. But if he gets in that Yamato and he parks his nose bow into this guy, he is probably dead within easily 3-4 minutes. I mean, easily. Conqueror, Yamato, Richelieu even shooting at him, and there's also a Suzuya out here. So he would effectively been absolutely useless to the team. And as you see, he's actually taking a pretty wide berth, which was a little bit why I was kind of worried about this, because I knew I couldn't sustain these guys for too long. And I'm not too sure why they're backing off, because right now, we have almost zero, like absolutely zero resistance to 3 battleships of this caliber, especially since Hipper isn't the best at HE DPM. Now, while we let this game kind of unfold till events really start happening, the Hipper got a buff. It basically got 100 more damage to the AP. So with my build running the full offensive build and full AP build, it gets, I think it's like 6,600 damage for a Citadel, which is actually kind of nuts. The highest in the game for tier 7 cruisers, if you're not counting the large cruisers like Suzuya and the Siegfried. So Hipper has kind of gotten a breath of fresh air because it also got a 1.5 second faster reload. And if you realize, I've started this game out with 2 heals, so I'm not using fully packed, which I don't think is the best option. I think with Hipper you definitely want to take advantage of 3 heals, but I was trying out a build and I'm rocking a 8.9 second reload for the Hipper, which is actually kind of fun, especially when there's a ton of Suzuyas out there, which is a very vulnerable ship when broadside, and it has to give a lot of broadside to get all of its turrets firing. And it's a campaign ship that I absolutely adore because it is very strong in the right hands, but if played sloppily, you will definitely get wrecked in it. And I love those ships. I don't like the ships that are very easy to play and very hard to punish, even no matter how bad you're playing. Suzuya comes out here, broadside, we load the AP because I wanted to take advantage of this, and we smack him for half his health. Only 1 Citadel, but yeah, that's half his health. And then the Yamato comes in for the devastating strike. He is just now turning that corner, so that was definitely the first of many kills that he will get throughout this game, a foreshadowing. It is quite a bit in terms of, since the enemy team will only start with 9, he gets a lot. I'll just say that. So now, what are we doing now? Kind of just biding our time here. I wanted to get the back turrets firing on this guy. I did not want to come out too much for this guy and not get greedy with all of my turrets. We squeak out one more salvo and we effectively got damage on this guy. Well, not a lot, but we didn't take any damage in return, so that's always very nice, trying to minimize the damage that I take. And there's no real reason to push right now, especially since there's no really reason to kind of YOLO a Yamato that's at 10 kilometers when I would be the one being targeted. So we're just gonna kind of play patient, and that's something that I think a lot of people have to learn with Hipper. Is it's definitely a brawling ship, but that doesn't mean that brawling is 100% always your go-to play. It is definitely what it's strongest at, but certain matches and certain matchmaking will definitely inhibit that. And I guess a comparison that I can make now is if you did see my tier 7 rank video, or like tier 7 cruiser ranking video, I had Hipper at a C. And the reason is because since every cruiser that's been coming out specializes in insane HE DPM, you have Wichita, you have Cleveland, you have Ochakov, you have Albemarle, you have all these ships that can absolutely just wreck you, and before you can even do anything to them. So Hipper, in terms of being competitive, doesn't really, or it didn't really fit into the meta that well, especially when you get ships that are much more effective at longer range. The close range engagements don't happen as often, so picking Hipper was always kind of a weird choice. But now, I would say Hipper's definitely in the B tier, and I had Eugen at B tier, as I almost dropped my controller. I had Eugen at the B tier just because Eugen, before this buff, was easily just the better option as the premium version. And I definitely think it can compete now. The Yamato gets that kill there, and it was at this kind of point where I was like, oh god, what in dear God's name is going on with the team here? As you see, they have 3 battleships in the middle there. We have almost as many. One of them goes down, and as you saw, Mexican Gulager also got that kill, which I was like, okay. But looking back at this video, I'm glad that he got every single kill that he did, because he absolutely deserves it, and he is definitely the highlight of this game. And I'm again so happy to be able to bring this to you guys, because it is so nice to see people playing the game that have both thumbs on the controller. So easily one of the best games that I've had solo in a long time. And it wasn't even me that had to do much. As this game goes on, I basically have to push away a little bit and let him take the reins, and I can just support as best as I can. And he does a great job, and I don't have to overextend and put myself in a bad spot. Shooting AP the Cleveland isn't really a threat to us, but we're not pushing in, because if you did notice, this is a carrier game. The Lexington would easily focus me if I push any further, and there's also 4 battleships in that center spot that I really don't want to try and YOLO. That's definitely a suicide. And here we're just trying to take advantage of, I guess, the Cleveland sailing in straight lines. No citadels, which is unfortunate, but we are located, which is interesting, so that tells us that the Cleveland is running Einstein with twist and track, or whatever the cruiser equivalent is. I'm just going to say twist and track because it's the same thing. So basically just biding our time here. What are my opinions on Hipper? I've actually had 2 really good games in it, and I will feature one of them at a later point, but this game actually just happened, and I immediately wanted to make a commentary on it just because it was so much fun. I even messaged the guy afterwards, like, hey dude, that was absolutely awesome. I'm really glad that happened for you, and it was just a joy to watch. So he is now pinging me to come help, and it looks like I'm running away here, but what I really want to do is kind of start to bait this Conqueror around, because the Conqueror is a ship that can definitely poop on any ship type, but Hipper especially. I mean, if the Conqueror for one can overmatch on my bow and stern, and his HE can break literally everything on my ship with one salvo and take about half of my HP. And I only have 2 heals, and this game still has a lot to go, so I don't want to risk too much. So we're definitely just kind of playing it close here. We're baiting around the island. I wasn't sure if he could get his shells over this island, but we do start to go ahead full speed, and I'm really glad we did, because even though he barely clips us there, he still gets a fair amount of damage, and we go unspotted, and this is the exact spot that we want to be in. The Yamato is bow tanking him. The Conqueror can't see me. I'm providing all of my DPM to kill this guy, so this is a perfect situation. I'm not risking any health for no reason, and the Yamato is doing his job. He's not showing his broadside. And I guess luckily for our Yamato, since the Conqueror shot AP at me, he had AP loaded for Gulager over there, and so the Conqueror is effectively doing nothing against him, and he also gets that kill, which again is fine. At this point in the game, I was basically like, more power to you, dude. Like, let's keep this going. This is awesome. You're playing perfectly. I mean, absolutely perfectly. He hasn't taken damage, or much damage, but he hasn't really put himself in a position to take too much damage, and this spawn has been so weird. You know, there wasn't really much shooting back. The enemy Yamato was shooting HE, so there wasn't really much for him to take damage, so it's not like he hasn't been playing appropriately. This game has just developed so slow, and he hasn't really had... No one's really been shooting at him to take advantage of him, so by all means, go for it. Ease in around this corner here. Notice we don't want to come out full broadside because the Nelson can overmatch us, so we're going to play this a little bit patiently. And then I realized that I squeaked out a little bit too far, so I want to try and angle as best as I can. Nelson can overmatch me, but if I do point my bow towards him, his accuracy is going to fail him, and he's going to get a less than stellar salvo on me, so effectively trying to minimize as much damage as I can. And at this island, pretty sure I'm in a safe spot. I still have a decent amount of health, and I can bow tank the Richelieu. He takes care of the Nelson, punches straight through the bow, which is an epic shot, so good on him once again. And like I'm telling you guys, like this game was just so much fun to watch. Like, and at this point I was like, let's just go for it. Cleveland to our left, there's Lexington to our left as well. And Cleveland so far hasn't really showed much, I guess, initiative to really take advantage of both of us. And I realized that there are torpedo planes, so I brake hard. I figured he would have gone for the Yamato anyways, or a Gulager here. I keep saying Yamato, it's Gulager. It's definitely Gulager. So yeah, he unfortunately takes that salvo, but now we're perfectly angled to the Richelieu. He can't do anything to us. And at this point, I am about to switch over to AP, and I'll do that right here, because since I have my gun trained on the Richelieu and my bow pointed to him, he can't do anything. And Gulager again gets the Kraken unleashed. So once I realized this, that he got the Kraken, I was like, this is super well deserved. I shoot him. I wanted to get his attention and say, go for it, dude. I do not want to take this kill for him. I think he has earned every bit of however many kills he's going to get this game, and it's just a joy to watch, honestly. He earned this 100%. So yeah, he gets the 6th kill on the Cleveland. Trying my best to communicate through the comms to say, dude, this is awesome, keep it going. And at this point, I am just along for the ride and just utterly impressed with how he's played. And I messaged him afterwards. I was like, dude, he was like, I told him, I was like, hey, is it okay if I feature this? This was epic. He was like, yeah, I'm honored. I was like, no, dude, I'm honored. It's super nice to have a Battleship player in a solo game that actually knows what he's doing. I noticed the torpedo planes to the right there, and I feel like he's going for me, but his planes are a little bit too close, so I look over at the Yamato, and I'm like, you know what? Let's try and do a get down, Mr. President maneuver here. I take both torpedoes. They don't have time to arm, so I'm effectively doing everything I can to make sure this guy has an epic game at this point. I will call that my best play of the game, and I'm happy to be here for this guy in support. Right now, I'm basically just waiting for this guy to shoot. I'm really hoping he gets this kill. He gets the shots off on the enemy Lexington, and that is going to do it. 7 kills for that Yamato, Mexican Gulager 69, guys. He said he's going to start uploading more WoW's content, and it was an absolute honor to play with you, dude. GG's on this. Immediately switched over, and I was like, heck yes, dude. You 100% earned that. That's an epic game. I will link his channel down below. He hasn't had many videos yet, but with skills like this, playing Battleship, definitely might be giving him some encouragement to keep posting or start posting more. So if you will, go give him a heads up, say GG dude, or at least just say GG on my comments. That means the world to me, and I'm super happy again to bring you guys this game. And basically with that, I'm going to leave it here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys enjoyed the absolute masterclass that Mexican Gulager 69 here had. This was an epic game to watch. GG to you, dude. It was absolutely astonishing to be in second place, and I mean that with everything that I have. So on that note, guys, I will catch y'all in the next one, and I hope you all have a good one. Peace.